Well, hello everyone. It's spooky season once again. I thought we'd take a look at this Salem's Lot trailer that's making the rounds. Stephen King's one of my favorite authors, and The Lord of Toxicity loves him some OG Stephen King before he came down with a bad case of the TDS. And I got a hold of this trailer, wanted to take a look and give you my thoughts and feedback on it. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the Stephen King Salem's Lot trailer for HBO Max.
I've always written stories about things that are so terrible. You'll run away until your brain won't remember.
So why did you come back?
I'm here for research.
What exactly, though, are you researching?
I can see her lying back in her satin dress.
Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary in the lot recently?
Don't confess. Sundown, you're back.
There are some folks who had some kind of unusual experiences. They used to tell us stories about this place.
You have no idea what you're getting yourself into here.
Danny, where are you? Answer me.
This is not a disease you can catch.
You better take care.
Let me in.
If we don't fight back, they'll come for us eventually.
Things have gone bad in the lot now.
It's not safe!
Sundown, you better take care. If I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.
Okay, well, that was the trailer. Yeah, so for the uninitiated, Salem's Lot is basically one of Stephen King's earlier novels from the 70s that is his, I guess it would be his love letter to Bram Stoker's Dracula. A small town in, oh, gee, I wonder where, in Maine called Jerusalem's Lot, nicknamed Salem's Lot by the residents, or just the lot, gets slowly overtaken by a master vampire and his head familiar as they pose as, I guess, antiques dealers and open up a local store. Ben Mears is an author who has suffered a tragedy, comes back to his hometown in order to write a novel about the haunted house that stands at the top of a hill, which has now been rented out by the vampire Barlow, the master vampire that is the main antagonist in this story. Ben and his group of, I guess you'd call them vampire hunters, but it takes a long time for them to develop into any sort of team. Is Father Callahan, the local priest, Dr. Cody, which is the local young MD, a young boy who is getting bullied but is extremely intelligent and manages to find a way to uh, take down one of the familiars, and his girlfriend. They all kind of form a ad hoc type team led by a local school teacher who was the first person to come in contact with the vampires. Um, Most of the story is a prelim, which is basically shows small town life, and as it kind of slowly erodes and the creep factor comes in of what the vampires are slowly doing to the town, you get kind of an idea of what's going on with the ultimate plan, which I would assume is for this European vampire who is ancient and evil to take over this area. So it's basically just uh, it's an amalgam hodgepodge of Bram Stoker's Dracula and a few other things, and it's probably one of Stephen King's more popular books. Definitely one of my favorites. So going back to the trailer here, and I'm gonna mute it. Talk about it. Um, it looks like couple things here. It looks like they have gone ahead and set it in the 70s. I can't 100% say that. I've not been on their IMDb page. I wanted to take a look at this without any bias and kind of spoiler free, but from the dress uh, that they have, that all the characters are wearing, and the cars and a few other things, it certainly looks to be the 70s, maybe even the 80s. But like I said, the novel is set in the 70s. So I think it's that, but I could be wrong. And if you know something that I don't know, go ahead and feel free to comment uh, in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I do like the overall aesthetic here. It's giving very creepy. I like what Father Callahan looks like. I like the look of the young local gravedigger who kind of runs afoul of one of the first vampire victims, which is little Ralphie Glick. These two boys go home after playing with their friend and get accosted by the vampires. I like the look of the Marsden house up on the hill. It looks creepy, and I like the look of the old teacher, if that's in fact who he is. That kind of kicks off the investigation. I like this little scene right here in the medical examiner's office. I like the voice that Ralphie Glick's mother has. It sounds really creepy as shit, and I'm digging it so far. However, let's go ahead and get to the main points here. It looks like DEI has jumped all over this thing with both feet, because we've got Dr. Cody has been switched from a young white male into a older black female. I do like this actress. She's been in a lot of stuff that I do enjoy. Her name escapes me right now. It doesn't really matter. But I don't know why they would do this. I mean, it's really just it's ticking the boxes, isn't it? So there is that. The young boy here, he's one of the main characters in the story, becomes friends with Ben Mears. I don't know if they've changed his name. They've obviously changed his character to a much younger. I mean, the only thing they've kept the same is apparently he's wearing glasses, which is he's kind of a nerdy kid that likes to build monster models, and he's one of the first ones to kind of figure out what's going on and take the initiative against the vampires and their familiars through the entire thing. That's a scene straight from the original miniseries of, I believe it's either Danny or Ralphie Glick, one of the two boys that he was friends with, that are the first victims of Barlow, coming up to the window. In this universe, the vampires, while they can't exactly fly, they are able to kind of levitate. Their bodies are a little bit amorphous, where they can move around and gravity doesn't always adhere to them. So they have more supernatural powers than a lot of what the vampires that we see have. Now, that being said, they also fall under a lot of they have a lot of more vulnerabilities. So you might see that scene where the guy has the cross and the cross is glowing. If they are very susceptible to religious rites like holy water, crosses, things of that nature. So apparently they've kept that in there, which is pretty cool. I don't have a problem with that. That's a big thing in the story, is that if you believe in the Holy Sacrament, if whatever your faith is in, it will lend itself to the weapons that can be used against a vampire. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Again, I like the aesthetic. I like the special effects. I think it looks pretty good. And again, I'm 90% sure they're setting this in the period it's supposed to take place in, which is in the 70s, which I don't have a problem with. It's pretty cool. They did do a modern day remake in 2004 with Rob Lowe. I don't think that came off very well. The original miniseries was actually, I'm pretty sure, released in the 70s, shortly after the book was released. And it's good. It's really good. It suffers from the fact that it doesn't have a lot of good special effects. I like the scene right here with all the vampires like up on the roof, kind of stalking Ben, and he's kind of outnumbered, outgunned. Doesn't even look like he has any kind of weapons or anything like that. And it's giving that really cool small town darkness aesthetic. I myself live in a small Midwestern town, and at night when there's not a lot of illumination and not a lot of streetlights around, it does get kind of creepy. So I like that. And I really, really like them utilizing Gordon Lightfoot's Sundown, which is actually more like a romantic breakup song. It's interesting that they're using that as a as a thing for them to liken it to vampires. So I do like that. I like the fact that it's on HBO Max. I don't think they'll go chintzy on the violence or anything else. I think it's highly probable that it'll be pretty violent, pretty bloody, which surprisingly the book is not. It sort of just alludes to things more than anything else. I didn't find the original miniseries to be extremely violent or extremely bloody, and the subsequent one in 2004, which, believe it or not, is 20 years ago now. Yeah, this is almost for sure got to be set in the 70s. It certainly looks like it to me. I'm not familiar with a lot of these actors and actresses, only like one or two. Ironically, the only one I really know is the chick that plays the gender swapped, race swapped version of Dr. Cody here. Everybody else, I don't know if I've not seen them in anything else. I'd have to, again, I didn't go to IMDb first to learn anything about this. I wanted to not have a whole lot of bias when I watched this trailer for the first time. So yeah, I like the trailer. I'll definitely watch it. I don't know how badly the DEI is going to really kick this in the dick. I will say this: I have a huge liking for the sequel novel, Doctor Sleep, to The Shining, and I didn't even care for The Shining, to be honest with you, but I really like Doctor Sleep. And when I first saw the preview for the film, and when I believe 2019, I was extremely upset that the main character Abra, the young girl, was race swapped, but they explain it very, very well in the film, and I thought they did a brilliant job with that. I think, in fact, the movie is better than the book. I may wind up doing a Consider the Source on that at some point during spooky season. In fact, I'm sure that I will do that, probably in conjunction with The Shining. But so I could be wrong. This could not be that big of a deal with that. It's one of those things that just, I guess in the world that we live in, it's just sort of annoying with the fact that they just cannot stop themselves from playing into the DEI stuff by having, a certain amount of people of color and or, gender swap, things like that. I guess that's something that bothers me in the real world. But other than that, I like the trailer. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm not sure. I'll have to do a little bit more background on this. Is this a movie or is this going to be a limited series, which is something that HBO's Max is kind of known to do? I'm not sure yet. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you going to watch it? Did this DEI switch up stuff bother you, or it doesn't really make that big of a difference to you? Let me know, and let me know what you'd like me to take a look at as spooky season comes in. Like I said, my Consider the Source series, we will be doing a lot of Stephen King stuff. I will even do Salem's Lot, and since this comes out October 3rd, I'll be able to do a Consider the Source on Salem's Lot, the book versus the adaptation that we see here. So let me know what you think, and until next time, stay toxic, everybody.
Riding on the wings of destruction, a toxic presence, a lord of corruption, polluting the ocean, spreading decay, the toxic black, going in the flame, searing through the sand.
I've got
balls of steel.